In this video, we're going to implement uploading cover and avatar images on the user profile page. We're going to also handle the case when the image is changed to delete the previously uploaded image. We're going to also implement uploading the entire profile data in this lesson. Now, let's comment the changes, what we made so far. We created the user profile page. We can have a look at the quick overview. My recommendation is to always do an overview of what you are committing, because mistakenly you might modify git ignore and you might mistakenly commit your vendor folder or some folder which is not meant to be committed actually. So I think what we did so far was everything intentional. We modified the authenticated layout, tab item, edit view, and yeah, we're good. So let's give it a proper commit message. Implement user profile page UI. We only did pretty much UI, nothing else, and it takes some time. Now let me close everything except view, and we're gonna work on the view, and I'm gonna implement right now the user avatar and profile page updates. Okay, it's going to be interesting. First of all, I'm going to show update button right here on this cover. Let's start with the cover. Okay, and I'm going to show this update cover button. Let's create this button. Update cover image. Let's give it absolute. I'm going to give it top 2, right 2. Let's give it BG gray 100 or maybe 50, BG gray 50. And on hover, we're going to do BG gray 100. And I'm going to give it text gray 800. Let's give it padding Y1 or maybe 2 and padding X3. Too much. Let's give it also text small. Still, this is too much, so I'm going to give padding Y1, padding X2, update cover image, and text maybe extra small. Okay, not bad. Let's put a pencil icon here. I think this is the pencil icon what we have on the edit profile, but maybe image icon would be more appropriate. Okay, I'm gonna search for photo, this one, paste that here. Let's reduce the size into 3 with 3, height 3, margin right 2. Oops. Let's give this flex and items, item center. Update cover image. No, this is nice. We can even display this when we mouse over on the entire cover section. So we can give this one group, and this button should be displayed on group, hover. Actually, let's give this opacity 0, and on group hover I'm going to do opacity 1. I think I don't remember it correctly. Let's search for group in the project because we did that. I'm going to search for under resources JS. I did this group once in this project. Group and group hover, opacity 100. It should be 100, not 1. That's the thing. Okay. Cool. Now, whenever I click on this, I want I want it the file picker to be opened. There are basically different ways to do this. So if we are going to do a more complex, we can bring up the modal and then choose an image, and then we do cropping and things like that, which I'm not going to do. However, if you have extra time and if you want to improve your skills, I would definitely recommend to do that things as well. But just follow the video and don't do this right now. Just finish the video and do this later. Update it later. But I'm going to do it as simply just triggering the file picker, reading the image, putting this right here, and then changing this button into cancel and submit. As simple as that. Okay, this is my button. I'm going to give this button, I want to collapse this SVG. Okay, I'm going to give this button input type file. Let's give it absolute left 0, top 0, bottom 0, and right 0. And it should have opacity 0, and should have cursor pointer. Okay, so this is the input type file. And this button has absolute, but I want, in this case, to have position relative. Because if I don't give it position relative and I remove this opacity 0 from here, now let's see what's going to happen. No, it actually works as it should work. If I remove absolute here, then it is definitely outside of the button. The button is here, the file picker is here. But if this one has position absolute and this one also has absolute, this element respects the parent absolute element, which is cool. Now when I click on this button, it's going to trigger the file picker. Okay, cool. Opacity 0. Let's revert this. Okay, now when I click on this, cursor pointer. This one has pointer. Should have the index Z. I don't have these suggestions. Z2 maybe, so that I can always see this cursor pointer. Anyway, doesn't matter. Okay, I'm just going to remove this index. Not big deal. Okay, when I click now, I'm going to read the file and display that file. So I need to listen to the change event of that input type file. Change on file change. Actually, that should be on cover change, because we might have the second file change here. On cover change, we go into the script area and we're going to define the function. On cover change, we accept an event here probably, and we can print that event, but I will get the file to be event target files at 0. Okay. Then I'm going to check if the file exists. Then I'm going to read that file and use the source. Let me define a variable here for the file source. Const cover image source equals ref, an empty string. If the file exists, then I'm going to create reader equals new file reader. Reader on load, we get something. So we get the reader even something. I need to remember this. I'm almost always need to remember that part. Read image JavaScript. Reader result. This is it. So we need reader result. So my cover image source dot value will be reader result, and I need to tell my reader to read as data URL, and I'm going to provide the file. So read my file as data URL, it will read and give me this. I'm going to print one more log here on load happens. Let me save this now and have a look. Click on this, choose one of the images, and by the way, those are the images from my Laravel e-commerce course, which is a premium course, about 33 hours content on my website, thecodeholic.com, and you can check it out. I'm going to click on this, and I just need to check the console. Load happens, which is awesome. And cover image source should also be available. Okay, what I'm going to do is that should be coming from the backend, right? So that should be an existing cover image for the user. Let me actually see what is the user object. What information do we have there? ID, name, email verified at, created it, updated it, username, cover path, and avatar path. Okay. And that user is not the authenticated user, but that user. What I need to do probably is just open the profile controller and create user resource. Is there any user resource right now? I think there's no user resource. So I will go into app HTTP resources. If there are no app HTTP resources, I'm going to create one. This is for Git. This is my npm run dev. So I'm going to create a new one. A vendor bean sale bash. I'm going to move this on the left. PHP artisan make resource user resource. Okay, now this user resource is meant to be to transfer my user model into some sort of data. The resources generally are created for the API, but keep in mind that any data, what we are going to send from my controller into the view of inertia, that the whole data, the whole user data here will be available on the client side, in the browser side. So if you send some sensitive data through passing as a variable here, it is not very good thing to do, to say nicely. Because if we pass like user secret token right here, even though we might not be using that secret token in our view, it is still available inside the browser, so anyone experienced can easily inspect and see what type of data we are returning from the backend, and they can see. So it's good practice to pass our user into this user resource, remove any data which is sensitive, and also process our data accordingly, which is more meaningful for the front end. So in this case, I'm going to return basically everything what is returned if we inspect here. So let me get this and put them here. I hate this. But I'm going to process my cover path and avatar path as well. So this is an associative array. We are going to do like this. This and whatever is here. Instead of cover path and avatar path, I would change this into cover URL and avatar URL. However, I'm going to do the processing a little bit later because we should not just return the path. We should process it and return it nicely. But anyway, in our case, the source by default is null. So if I save this and have a look, we can see that actually we need to reload. Hold on. We created a resource, but we didn't use that. So here I'm going to pass new user resource passing my user, which should return cover URL. And it is returning also data here, which I can disable if I just set wrap here, public, I think it's called wrap. I'm going to set this into false, but actually I need to do the same thing for every resource. If I create post resource later, I need to do the same thing here. So it is actually possible to disable this globally. So let me actually search this in the Laravel docs. We're going to learn something new. Resource. Now let's search for wrap, data wrapping. We see that we can change the wrap. If you would like to disable wrapping on the outermost resource, you should invoke without wrapping method on the base JSON resource. Okay, we're going to do this in the app service provider. JSON resource without wrapping. Let's open app service provider, and inside boot we're going to call without wrapping. And we don't have wrapping here. Let's make sure we did this correctly. So I will comment this again, reload, it is wrapped. I will uncomment, it is not wrapped anymore. Okay, cool. Now we see that the image is broken, and now we need to do it differently. Either we can use some default image, upload your cover image here or something like this, or we can use yeah, I think using a default image is a good idea. Let me search for cover, nice background cover image. Let's go into images. I want abstract cover image. I will take the very first one, but I think you get the idea. This is actually small. I want large. All of them are actually not available. All of them have watermark. I can search for free. This is very small. Is this? Let's use this one. Okay, nice. I'm going to download this image. Actually, where's my... Let me put this in the pictures. Let me get this. It was opened on my second screen, and I copied that. And let's go into PHP Storm. Under public, we should probably create a folder called image. And let's call this default underscore cover JPG. We're going to add this into the project. Now, the source right here will be user.cover URL, or it's going to be /image/default cover.jpg. Now let's see. Look at this. Isn't this nice? Okay, cool. So this is the default cover for every new user, and this is the default avatar, by the way. We can leave this. Now I choose that, some image, and I assign this to the variable called cover image source. And I'm going to use this cover image source here. If that exists, if that doesn't exist, then we're going to use user cover URL. And even if that doesn't exist, we're going to use the default one. If I reload right now, I see, so this one doesn't exist. So we use this one. Okay, now I choose, actually no, this doesn't exist, and we use that one. Now I choose an image, and it got updated right here immediately. Okay, and I should show here cancel and submit buttons as well. And by the way, I need to save that file as well, because that file is what's going to be sent to the backend. So we have this cover image source, and I'm going to create cover image file as well, and there's going to be just it's not going to be ref, it's going to be just a variable, because I don't need to use this in the template. Then right here, my cover image file, it should not be const, it should be let. And if cover image file exists, then we're going to read that and get the URL. Here we have this button, which I'm going to hide and show other two buttons. So probably I need to put them in a div. Let's do like this. I'm going to create a div. I'm going to move this button inside the div. Okay, and this button has this position absolute and everything, which I can assign this into div. I assume that this doesn't change anything. Okay, cool. And I'm going to create now two more buttons. The first button should be cancel. What I don't like is that for every SVG I have very, very large SVG, which I can collapse, but still not very handy. For that reason, there exist these hero icons which can be installed. So if I go into the documentation, scroll down below, npm install hero icons, this is for React, this is for Vue. So I'm going to grab that, bring up the terminal, and install that. And then how can I use, or where are all the icons? Browse the full list of icon names. I'm going to click on that. And what I need is cancel. So cancel should be times. Cancel. Why I don't see cancel? Close. Okay, let's search for, let's open hero icons again. Cancel. It's called X mark. So if I search for mark, X mark icon. This is what needs to be imported. Let me actually go back, but in a new tab. So this is the documentation. How I can use this, I can see it's right here. That was installed. And let me restart my Vite server as well, just to be fully safe. And let me import right now X mark icon, this one. And now this is the update cover image, and this should be cancel. Let's remove this input type file, remove this SVG, and let's use X mark icon here. Let's check cancel. We don't see this X mark icon, and if I inspect that, well, first of all, those two buttons should not be visible at the same time. So they should only be visible, the cancel button, if cover image source exists. Now it is hidden. This should only be visible if cover image source does not exist. Or maybe we can do else. Okay, good. Now I choose the image. I see cancel here, but I don't see the icon. Why I don't see the icon? Let's see. We need some CSS classes as well. So let's grab that and provide that. I'm going to remove the color and maybe reduce that width and height. Okay, now we see this cancel. Good. And I'm going to have another button which is going to be submit. That button will have background, I'm going to give it a dark color like a gray 800, and on hover I'm going to give it background gray 900, and text going to be background gray 100. I have VLs 2 times. Basically, I'm going to remove on both of the buttons and I'm going to wrap them into a template. And the template should have VLs. Update cover. We have submit and cancel. Let's give this one flex. Okay, what's going on? Flex, no wrap. The autocompletion, the reason that the autocompletion doesn't work, the fact actually that the autocompletion doesn't work sucks. No wrap. This is about white space, no wrap. Will this work in my case? Because I have 2 buttons. If I change this into inline flex, it will work. and I will create gap of 2. Oh, this is template. It should be div. That's why those classes are not working. Oops. Okay, let me revert this. Just providing flex and gap should do the job. Yes. As for the submit button, I'm gonna just close a couple of tabs. It's too much right now. We can just download this into pictures, and I will get that and put in the project. Default cover WEBP. Okay. Close this. I'm going to close that one. So I know how I can use, so I can close. We have also outline, by the way. I'm going to close this one. I can leave this one because I might need the actual names of the hero icons. I'm going to leave this one as well. Headless UI. Let's leave it. Let's close this one. I need this, and I'm going to close this one as well. And I'm going to close this one as well. And this one as well. Okay, so now I need the submit button, so I will search this here, or save, or accept, or something like check, maybe check circle. Okay, let's search for check circle icon. If I scroll down below, I need to import this from check circle icon so that I can use this here. Choose cover image, and we see cancel and submit. We're going to give this one margin right 2. Okay, so we have cancel and submit. Well, what if I give this one BG white and padding of 2 maybe? Which should be visible on group hover. Let's give it opacity 0. So let's reload this and have a look. Update cover image, click on that, choose an image, then we see cancel and submit. Not bad. Okay, let's implement this cancel and submit. I'm going to listen to click on that, and on click cancel cover image. This is what I'm going to call. And on click, I'm going to call submit cover image. Let's scroll down below and create those 2 functions. Cancel cover image, which is relatively simple. Cover image file equals null, and cover image source dot value equals null. Second will be submit cover image, in which case right now I'm just going to write a console log cover image file. This is what I'm going to submit. Scroll up, choose an image, click on cancel, it goes back to the original one, and choose that and click on submit, and we see the file right here, which needs to be sent to the backend. Your support is the most important thing for me. So the single best thing what you can do right now is to pause the video, hit the subscribe and the like button, and continue watching. I would really appreciate. Thank you. Okay, to submit that to the backend, what are we gonna do? Let's open inertia.js documentation, and I'm interested in the forms section. Okay, so we have that form. Router post. Okay, we don't have the backend ready yet as well, but let's define the route. Obviously, updating cover should only be possible for the authenticated users, so I'm just gonna uncomment that middleware out group, and inside the profile, let me duplicate this, uncomment this, /profile update cover. Okay, the name will be profile update cover, and the action should be update cover as well. This is how I'm going to call it. That should be post, by the way. Okay, I will go in the profile controller and I will create that function at the very bottom, public function, update cover. We accept request here, and we will have this file. We can validate this. We're going to have only a single file, so we can validate that. We're going to have a file which should be type of image. Yeah, when we validate, we're going to get the data back, and I'm just going to dump and die the whole data. Now, on the front-end side, we are going to use this router and reactive to have that form. So let's define reactive and router. We're going to have that form, which, by the way, yeah, here we have the file uploads as well. Let's have a look at the file uploads. Form data conversion. Okay, force form data true. Okay, here's the full upload example. We're going to have this form, name and avatar. This is exactly what we want, I think. So let me actually grab that part. This reactive and router, I can replace this with use form. And we're going to have only cover here, or maybe we can call this file. But because we're going to make separate, you know what? Here I expected file, but I'm going to do it differently, actually. Well, what I'm thinking right now is that maybe I can have a single action to update the cover, to update the avatar, and maybe in the future to update the profile as well. Okay, so to update the cover and avatar, that's relatively easier. I can call this cover. Let me change this method and make it more generic. Update image, and either it's going to be cover or avatar, and I can just accept both here. In the web, I can call this update images, and update image will be here. Now, here we're going to have the cover and we're going to have avatar. Both will be null. When I choose the file, I assign this into cover image file, which I will replace into, let me rename this form into images form. And then cover image file I'm going to replace with images form.cover. Here I can completely delete that, but here, here, and here I'm going to replace with the one. Okay. Next, we think that we can submit that. This is cancel, and this is submit. So this images form we can call post on the URL. Basically, I don't want to use these users as a URL here. Instead, I want to use the root. This root should be from Ziggy. If I just provide here, what's the name of the route? Profile update cover. So this is the route I want to make request to. Let's see what errors we will get. I'm going to reload the page, choose an image, click on submit, go to network, update images. Okay, the request has been sent. Actually, we didn't get any response back. Profile update images, we got 302 found. Okay, what's the issue with that? Why it just returned found and nothing else? I think I know the reason why it did so. Basically, the example here in inertia is given that when we do the submit, the backend does some redirect. Okay, you submit it on that URL, and basically you will be redirected to somewhere else. In our case, we haven't been redirected to anywhere. Nothing was returned from here, but I expected this var dump, this dump and die result. Okay, this is the case which previously, like basically the Google Chrome does not always display the returned response here. So this is the case I want to try this in the Firefox. Let me open Firefox. Okay, I need to log in. Oops. I think that was john@example.com. Here we go. We go on the profile. I'm going to open the network. Okay, let's go to, actually, let's choose an image. Hold on. Okay, this is issue on responsive. We have broken. Let me quickly fix that. I think we just need to provide this max width of 768. Let's go into Firefox. Okay, we choose the image. I click on submit. Response. What is response? The response is we have been redirected back into John Smith URL, isn't it? The avatar field, this is it, the avatar field must be an image. Yeah, okay, this is the case exactly like Google Chrome didn't provide the result, or okay, now look at this. So the post request returned with 302 status code and redirected us back into the URL. In Firefox, both of the requests show that response, but in Google Chrome, no content available because the request was redirected, and here is where we have that response. The avatar field must be an image. Okay, now it's getting clear. Okay, I can close this Firefox right now. I can see this error right here. Well, what we can do is just come here and just remove the avatar, or make it nullable as well, like both can be nullable. And I submit that. Now I see cover is something, but avatar is actually null. Okay, this is good. I can just get the cover, and right now I need to just take care of saving that cover image. However, I'm thinking right now, if there are these type of validations, what are we getting? Let me check one thing in the error handling area. No, we need the validation part. Where are those errors? Define props, errors. Okay, what if I define props errors here, which needs to be an object. Then if I just make both of them required again, I have errors here, and I want to print my entire list of errors. I'm just thinking about the validation, handling the validation properly as well. Now the errors is empty object, so I will choose an image, click on submit, and this is the error. Okay, now we have this error. The avatar field must be an image. This is good, this is awesome. I wanted to double check that, make sure that if I upload a too large image for the cover, or if there is some sort of validation error on the cover image, I should be able to get that and display this to the user, right? Now both are nullable, and I can do a check. I can get the avatar. That's going to be data avatar with a double question mark or null. That's going to be cover data cover question mark null. Okay, now we need to save this in a safe place, and we're gonna also update the user avatar path. Okay, where should I save this? I'm gonna save this into a publicly accessible folder. It's gonna be in the storage. We have app public. Do we have a symbolic link created? PHP artisan storage : link. link has been connected to app storage app public. So public storage connects to storage app public. Now I'm going to save my image into public area. Let me search the Laravel documentation. I also use ChatGPT a lot at my work, and I'm not sure why I don't use ChatGPT here. It saves a lot of time for me. Let me try, because when you start browsing in the documentation, you come across to some other things and learn actually much more than in the ChatGPT. But let's see how fast we can find what we're looking for. The public disk. So this is the public disk, public path. Okay, this is good. Oh, what we want is just to upload into the public disk. Okay, let me use ChatGPT. I am not authenticated in this particular browser. Okay, I want to upload a file in Laravel into public disk and save the path into user model in DB. I want, yeah, let's leave it as it is, and we can customize the response. Okay, the public disk is already configured for us. What we want is just a validation, required file mimes. Okay, it gives us the mimes. We get the file. Okay, so this is the solution what ChatGPT provided. It provides always much more than we need. It provided the migration as well. We don't care all of that. So this is what I do care is that saving into public disk. So what I'm going to do is just call that part. I have the file. I'm just going to go call that part and update this in the database. So my cover, actually we need to check if cover exists. Then I'm going to upload this into, so the store basically has two parameters. One is the folder and the second is the disk. I need to search for the method store here. Request file avatar, store avatars. Okay, so that's going to store the file avatar into avatars folder. Specifying a file name. This is what I want. Store as avatars and provide the file name. Okay, so let's get this part. I want to store as. Okay, let's add the annotation to the cover and avatar that this is uploaded file, Illuminate HTTP uploaded file. Now the store as method is auto-completed. We have store here, which has two parameters, path and options, and store as has three parameters, path name and options. In our case, we're gonna save this cover into covers. We can do it and save it into covers folder, or we can do and save this into user ID folder. Let's give it user dash in the user ID. That's the folder. The name can be left as null, and it's gonna automatically assign the name to it. And we're gonna put this into public disk. Then on the user, I'm gonna update cover path and assign the path, or maybe we can just call on user update provide cover path to be path. This is going to do the update. However, if we open the user model, do we have cover path? No, we don't have cover path defined here. Cover path and avatar path. Now let's test this. Reload the page. I will choose an image. I will hit on submit. I don't know what happened, but if I go into storage app public, I see something weird. This is the file. Okay, it obviously didn't work. I'm going to open the developer tools to see the actual error, and I'm going to click on submit again. It returns with error, some sort of error. No, actually there is no error, but it creates a file user dash. Okay, this store as avatars. That's going to save in the avatars folder, right? To get the original name and extension. I'm curious what name, this gives me the full example, which is something I don't want. What name will be assigned? Why it doesn't take that user ID at all? Does this mean that the folder needs to exist there? Okay, so let's make sure that this uploads folder, whatever is ChatGPT talking about, exists. So let's ask ChatGPT, okay, I want to save the file into a folder user ID. Please handle the case when that folder does not exist. Now let's wait. Okay, this is the folder name. Store the file in specific folder. Okay. Generate a folder name based on the user ID. Okay, that's strange. So we can generate this auth user ID and specify folder name here, name. Okay, let me remove this name and public as well. And let's try to resubmit this again. The problem is that the storage it doesn't put this in the public. Okay, I'm going to clarify this once and finally for myself. Basically, let's search for public. We have this file visibility. We can just call this storage put the contents in public. This is not what we want. I want store publicly. This is something else. This saves on S3 as publicly. This is not what I want. Gain, not what I want. Specifying a file name. Okay, let's do like this. Cover, store, avatars. As simple as that. Let's try like this. And what's going to be the path? Let me actually save, check the database if there exists some paths. No, there are no paths because the file was probably not uploaded. Let me actually dump and die that path. Maybe I can do this down. So we update and then dump and die. Now I'm going to hit on submit. Okay, here's the path. Avatars, whatever. It worked. Okay, what if I... And that probably changed the database as well. Cover path, no it didn't. Why it didn't? Update, cover path, equals path. Okay, that's a different thing why it didn't work. But let's first figure out how to save this properly. If I provide storage, no. Actually, I'm gonna provide store slash in the user ID. I want to save in the store user ID. And then we're gonna have the random name for the file itself. Now let's hit the submit button again. Avatars. Where is my user ID? Okay, well, that user is not accepted. That's a different user probably. So what I should get is user from request. This is the problem probably. Auth user ID, exactly. Now I have that user. Now I delete this and hit on submit again. Avatars 1 and this random name. Okay, and the path is actually correct. So that should be saved. Well, this is not saved in the public. First of all, let's pay attention. This is not saved in the public. So I need to provide public here. Now the avatars is inside public. And that file basically will be accessible through the URL. Let me duplicate this. Through the URL avatars/1/ wait, why the symbolic link doesn't seem to be working. So if I navigate, okay, I created the symbolic link not from inside the container, but from outside. Let's go into public. We have the storage, which has strange symbolic link. Let's remove this storage and PHP artisan storage column link. Okay, I need to go back. PHP artisan storage link. Okay, the link has been created. Now if I go into public ls-la, okay, that is a correct link. Now if I delete that avatars again, then I hit on submit, the file is uploaded. I'm gonna get the file name. I'm going to access avatars/1/ the file name, hit the enter. It should work. Come on, man. Inside public, okay, I think storage is missing. Storage/avatars. Here we go. And now the question is that the uploading works as it should work. Now the question is why it is not saved in the database. And it is saved in the database, probably because the symbolic link was broken, it wasn't saved, but right now we see that it is saved in the database, which is awesome. And the only question is right now to get the URL correctly, and maybe ChatGPT gave did it give any kind of like a preview? Okay, how I can generate a URL out of this path. Yeah, I think I need to use the storage facade. That's how I was thinking. So basically it is as simple as that. If I copy that and go into, let's close this users table. Let's collapse the left side, and I need to go into user resource. This cover path. Okay, and let's import the storage facade. It was imported right here. So if I save this right now and reload my browser, let's see, here we see this cover URL. Okay, this is already saved in the database, coming from the database, and this is it. If I try to choose another one, then I click cancel, it goes back to the original one, which is already saved in the database. I don't have right now possibility to remove this cover once I upload it, which is I think not a big deal. We can take care of this maybe later. But yeah, once we upload the cover, is it necessary? I'm thinking right now. If you don't want to have this cover, you can obviously change it, and it's going to be changed. We don't handle this, by the way, correctly on the front-end side, which we're going to do, and we're going to show the notification that the cover has been updated, but I think we should have this possibility to delete the cover. Okay, let's finalize what we are doing here. We did the cover update. Then here we have this post, and we need the callback. Let's go into form handling. Here, once the validation is passed, basically here the user is redirected to something else. What we want is on success. This is it. Okay, when we get this on success, and this is passing additional object here. Okay, what are we going to do on success? We're going to call cancel cover image first, which means that no. Let me think. Yeah, first of all, we are going to return updated user. Okay, so I'm going to return new user resource. I updated the user, I changed its cover, so it's a good thing to return the whole user. And I expect this user here, and let me just log the user here. Okay, if I get that user, okay, that user is accepted through props. I cannot update the prop. This is not allowed. So I should do the reload in this case. Maybe I should do, like it was mentioned here, to route, redirect user to some URL. And in our case, that's going to be profile, right? Profile. We are going to just provide the user for the profile. That's going to be our user. Okay, let's have a look. Click on submit. We don't see anything. Let's test this once again. Update. Click on submit. Okay, this has been just a redirect. What we can do is just put success message in the session. Key will be success. Message will be cover image has been updated. Okay, then in the index, we get the session status, by the way. Where are we using that status? If we check edit.view, Are we using status somewhere here? Let's check. If status equals verification link sent. Okay, this is the status. Then we show a new verification link has been sent to your email address. Text green. Okay, so this is the success message, which we can do something similar, but instead of status, we're going to have success. What if I put this here? We show if success, that success, wait, let me think. Let's actually find that where is this coming from? This is coming from email verification notification controller. So we're going to redirect back with that status. This is exactly what we want to achieve. So I will redirect user to back with status, but in this case we're going to have cover image updated. And then inside the view, if cover image is updated, we can just use status. Then we can show a message, your cover image has been updated. Now let's test this. Choose cover image, click on submit, and we see your cover image has been updated. I'm going to give this one BG green 600, and I'm going to give it padding Y2, padding X3, and text gray 100. No, it should be text white. And I don't want green, I want BG emerald 600. Let's make it 500. And text white. Let's choose an image, click on submit. Your cover image has been updated. Okay, I think this can even be hidden after some time, because once we reload, it's going to be gone. So this is status. Okay, we cannot actually hide that. Well, we can hide it, obviously, but just to make sure that we hide that, we need to introduce another variable. Okay, let's learn something additional. If the status equals this, let's define variable here, hide notification equals, it's going to be ref, and false. So actually, let's give it a show notification. Okay, show notification, by default this equals true. So right here, if show notification and the status equals something, we're going to show it. Then as soon as I click on this, then click on submit, the images, the notification is there. Then right here I can introduce a new updated or mounted hook, or let me just write one here. I'm just curious when it is printed. Obviously, when I reload the page, it's going to print 1. What if I update here and submit? Okay. I don't get this. What is this view? This is on success. Okay, I don't get this 111 because it has been already mounted. What we can do is just watch to the status. I think this is what we can do. Here, I can watch on status. Actually, that's going to be props status. And I'm going to move this down. Okay, I'm watching at the props status. Then I will have callback new value and old value. New val, old value. And I'm going to do if old value exists. No, actually, if old value does not exist, and if new value exists, then I'm going to do set timeout, and I'm going to set, after 5 seconds, I'm going to set the show notification dot value equals false. But I also want to print what is new value and old value, because if I'm doing something wrong, I can have a look at what are these values. So let's reload the page. I choose an image, click on submit. Okay, it is not watching at props status because that status got updated. Okay, is mounted happening? Let's see now. Unmounted. If unmounted hook is happening. Mounted. Choose an image, click on submit. No, mounted is not happening. What if I watch like this? Props.status. Okay. Let's just watch to status. Well, if none of that works, like unmounted is called only once. I expected that unmounted would be called since we redirect back, go back with that status. Okay, unmounted is called once. It is not useful for us. We cannot watch on status. That will not work us. It looks like. Let's double check this. No, it is not working for us. We can't watch on status. This is not printed actually. We can listen on updated hook or on success right here. We can do this set timeout in on success, and we can set this show notification dot value equals false after like 3 seconds. Previously we had 5, but let's leave it to 3. Okay, click on submit, and let's see. Okay, it worked. It was as simple as that. However, wait, we do also cancel cover image. which removes this and removes that. So I set that, click on submit, and it got cancelled, which is perfectly fine. And here we go. So we have implemented cover image update. It took a long time, but hopefully we learned a couple of things. It keeps annoying that it always gets focused on here. There's autofocus, probably autofocus or something like focus. It is focus. Let's remove this autofocus. Okay. Now that's good. Okay, let's set your cover image has been updated. Okay, awesome. Let's remove now these errors from here. But we actually need to test what happens if we upload something which doesn't pass the validation. If we have a look in the ChatGPT, what it provided a couple of validation rules, and it has these MIME types. Okay, let me do like this. Inside MIMEs, I'm going to provide only PDF. Now I'm sure that my cover will fail because it is not PDF. Click on submit and we see this. The cover field must be a file of type PDF. Okay, how we are going to handle that part? We can get this just like we are listening on success, we can listen to on failure and read that information and bring up the pop-up. Or we can write that information inside this cover area. So because right now we are talking about cover only, and this is the cover area, what we can do is just, maybe I can copy this, which is a success notification. That's going to be errors.cover. And we're going to show this only if errors.cover exists. And the only difference will be bg red 500. Okay, now let's have a look. Here we go. Okay, we choose something. We click submit. We get the file type. The cover field must be a file of type PDF. Let's reduce this slightly. I do the submit, it's not working. However, I go to the backend, change that, hit on submit, your cover image has been updated, and it works nicely. Actually, what if we put this here as well? So that if there are some errors, like, okay, anyway, if there are some errors, previously the error was under the buttons, but now it's going to be properly aligned. And again, if we do mimes PDF, it was mimes or mime. Mimes PDF, we see this errors cover. Okay. We show the if. We upload something, we hit submit, we get the error, the cover field must be a file of type PDF. Okay, I think we are done with the cover update, and let's return this back. Let's comment the changes, what we made regarding uploading cover image. Let's have a look. So we obviously created a new function in profile controller, which we need. In the user model, we added cover path and avatar path infillable. We need that. Inside app service provider, we disabled wrapping on resources. So this is necessary. We added this default cover. We remove this autofocus. We can comment that. We added these notifications and implemented this cover uploading in the view, which we need. We added the new road, and we also installed hero icons, which we also need. And we added user resource as well. The only thing which I'm not going to commit is this. Wait, both are called default cover. The second one should be default avatar. I'm not going to commit this WEBP file because that's a default avatar file. I'm going to comment this next time when I implement the avatar uploading. So let's give it proper name, implement uploading avatar, cover image on user. Okay, we commit that. Okay, let's rename this, and I'm going to call it default avatar, WEBP. Okay, one thing which I just noticed is that whenever we upload new cover image under, let's go under storage, app, public, avatars, we see we have a lot of avatar images already. But if we check in the database, obviously we only have one user and there should be only one avatar, one cover for that user. And by the way, the name also avatars is not quite correct. It should be something else. What I'm thinking right now is that I'm going to delete all those files and leave only one, which starts with LN9. So let's search for LN9. This is the last one, which is saved in the database, but everything else should be deleted, except this one. So I'm going to hit delete. Okay, everything was deleted. And let's open profile controller. And this should not be called avatars. I'm going to call this user dash the user ID. That's going to be the folder. Okay, and let me save this and just try to upload new cover image under this path. It should create new folder here. Let's come right here. Let's reload the page. Choose an image, click on submit. Cover image has been updated. And let's have a look. Here we see user 1 and we see that image. So that can be right now deleted. So I can delete this avatars folder completely. And let me now try to upload a different image. So like this one, and click on submit. Now look what happens. So now we have two images in the user 1 folder, but in the database there's only the latest one, which is CK, which starts with CKF, this one. So this one should be deleted, and we need to do deleting of the cover right here at this stage, at this place. Okay, and just to make sure I'm doing everything 100% correctly, I'm going to ask now ChatGPT also what if I want to delete the file? How should I delete it correctly? Obviously, we can guess by ourselves. We know the location where a file is located. We know this path, but what I'm trying to find out is the correct way to delete the file. Okay, if the file path exists, then we're just call storage delete, and that's it. Okay, what are we going to do here? Before we update the cover path, we have this user cover path. So let me first check if user cover path, if that exists, then I'm gonna call storage delete user cover path. Let's import this storage facade. It was imported right here. And I think that's it. So if this user cover path exists, we're going to delete that. And then we're going to save the new one. Now in the database, we have the one which starts with CKF. So I'm going to delete the other one. And now let me try to upload new file. I'm going to click on submit. Okay, let's have a look. The CKF is still there. It has not been deleted. Okay. Why it has not been deleted? Okay, what's the path in the users table? The path is user1 something. Okay, I think the reason is that the storage delete should accept the second argument, which should be the disk. So if I try to delete from this public, I think it is not there. Okay, let's check this in the Laravel documentation. I'm going to search for delete. Okay, storage delete, that's correct. Then we can specify the disk and then deleting a directory. Okay, now there's no example how we can delete the public image. I mean the correct way, what's going to be the correct way to delete the public image. But let's now ask ChatGPT, my file is in public disk, which is not default disk, and I want to delete it from public disk. Let's see the disk. We get the disk. If the file path exists and the disk exists, then we're going to do this. We're going to delete this from the disk. So basically, as we found in the documentation of Laravel, that we can specify disk. Where was that? Right here. We can do the same thing for the public. So before calling delete, we can call disk. We can provide public here and then call delete. And in this case, in the database, we have a 10a. This is the file which is connected to the database. And this second one, I'm going to delete. Now, if I check in the browser, upload new one, click on submit, check in the database, look at this. So the previous one got deleted, the new one was added, and now we see only one file in this directory. And this is exactly how it should be. Now let's commit deleting of the previous cover image. Okay, delete previous cover image on update. Okay, now let's implement uploading avatar. Where's the button? This is cancel and submit buttons. I think we need something similar for avatars. Let me copy that div, which contains a lot of things. And here's the avatar image. I'm going to create div, and I'm going to put my copied div and the buttons into that div. And I'm going to it should be on the so this is the button to upload cover image. Okay, but in our case, for avatar case, I just want this to be an icon, not text, without text. This if cover image source, this is not related to the avatar, so I will create a avatar image source. Okay, this is good. Here we should have avatar image source. On mouse over, on group hover, we display that, but let me actually always leave that there. This is it. Should not have this position absolute and things like that. So what do I put this image right here and give this div relative? Okay, then we see this button here. This is the photo, right? So let me grab photo icon. We are going to import that from here. Photo icon. We're going to provide it with SAMI, with 3 and H3. I just switched English and Georgian. SAMI means 3. Okay, I'm going to put this in the center when I mouse over on this. Okay, so let's give this group and it should have opacity 0 and group dash hover. We're going to give it opacity 100. Okay, this is, I'm going to give this one a different group because right now there is another group here and we have nested group here. Okay, and let's give this one group avatar. Then here group avatar hover, we're going to give it opacity. Okay, let's search for groups inside tile and CSS. Input groups, and this one. Group, hover, and what about different group? Group item, and then we have group hover item. Okay, so we should give this one group avatar, and then we need group hover avatar. Here we should have group hover / avatar. Okay, this is good. Now let's remove this BG gray. On hover, I'm going to remove that. And we have this text gray. Well, let's give it text white. And I want to put this in the center. So this one has position absolute. But let's give it also flex and items center, justify center. And let's give it left 0, right 0, top 0, and bottom 0. Okay, I want this image to be in the center. Let's inspect that. Okay, this is the problem. This is the problem. Okay, this is how I'm going to do that. I'm going to put this image, wait, so this div, yes. So I'm going to give this div flex item center, justify center, like this. And I'm going to move this one up. So let's take that and give it to the parent div. I basically want the parent div to move up, and then this button will be correctly, this element will be correctly in the center. Okay, now this is good. And let's give it also margin left. Now, okay, look at this. So this is now the parent element, and this is absolute. On mouse over, group avatar, this has opacity 0, and group avatar hover, we give it opacity 100, but it doesn't seem to be working. Okay, this is the button. This is in the center. Basically, I'm going to put the one button in the center, and whenever I choose something, then I'm going to put X and accept icons at the top. So I should probably remove that wrapper div, and this should be in the center. Flex, justify center. Okay, the width is large. I'm gonna give it width and height the same as it was given to the image, and the image I'm gonna give width full and h full. Now, where is my icon? So this is my icon. Why it is not in the center? Because we have image and we have that button. That button is not in the center. If I give it absolute, if I give it left 1/2 and top 1/2, that is putting it almost in the center. I'm going to increase the width and height of the icon. It is almost in the center, and I'm gonna give this button width of 48 pixel, or maybe let's just give it width of 16, h of 16. Okay, and then I'm going to give minus margin left 8, minus margin top 8. So this should put the icon in the center. But this image also has paddings, vertical and horizontal paddings, which needs to be removed. I removed them. Still it is not in the center, because it has also flex and item center, which needs to be removed again. Still not in the center. Okay, I think now we can reduce this. Wait. What if I give this one left 0, top 0, right 0 and bottom 0, without margin top and left, without text white, text excess, and let's give it PG black 100/25, something like this. Okay, in such case, we're going to give flex and items center and justify center to that icon, which puts this in the center. If I open now photo, I want this camera, so this should be camera icon. I'm going to search for a photo icon. Actually, I'm going to replace this with camera icon. Camera icon. Okay, and the only thing that is missing right now for me is, in terms of UI, is this PG black /25, like this. But I'm going to give it also rounded full. Okay, this is how I want it. So I click on that, it triggers the file upload. I'm going to choose the file. It is choosing right now in the cover because the The handler is for the cover, but I'm going to change this on cover image into on avatar change. And let's change this cancel cover image into cancel avatar image here and here as well. Let's move down below. I'm going to duplicate this on cover change. I'm going to call this on avatar change. We're going to check if the avatar exists, so we're going to assign this into avatar. If that exists, then we're going to read and assign this into avatar image source. Okay, cancel cover image. Let's duplicate this, and that's going to be images form, avatar to be null, and avatar image source to be null. And speaking about the submission, we are going to have profile update cover. The route basically needs to be, okay, let's leave the route for now. That should be submit avatar image. And here we are going to have cancel avatar image. Yeah, the name should be avatar image. Okay. Now, let's find the actual image right here. And we're going to replace this with avatar image source or user avatar URL, or the default one, which is going to be image/default_avatar.webp. Now, I reload the page, we see the default one. I'm going to choose something. I see the chosen one. However, this cancel and submit needs to be adjusted. Okay, I'm going to remove this cancel and submit texts. I'm going to give this div position absolute. It should be top 1, right 1. Flex, gap, pg white, all that things can be there. I'm going to remove this opacity 0, and the padding 2 can stay there. No, this is not what I want. Okay, also we can see that this avatar image is not, it is not square. So either we are going to implement again the cropping functionality to crop that as a square, or we need to give that image something similar. Object cover. Let's give it object cover like this. And I want this image to be also rounded, so I'm going to give this rounded full. Actually, I think this should be rounded full. In this case, here and here it is not necessary. If this is rounded full, also it needs overflow hidden, otherwise this is rounded full, but this image is just outside of this div area but still visible. Now this is good. Okay, I also don't like this because the buttons, now the cancel and accept buttons, I want them, I don't want them to be cropped basically. So what I will do is just return this rounded full, but still I'm going to make this, adjust these buttons. I'm going to delete every CSS class basically. on those buttons. And I'm just going to give it width of 6, H6, flex, items, center, justify center. Okay, and I'm going to give it also BG black. BG black maybe like a 80. Let's see. Okay, we want to remove this background and padding from the parent. And that button should have a color, actually text white. It is not in the center. Let's remove this margin right too. I'm going to increase that into like 5. And I'm going to make this also rounded full. Let's increase this into 8. And this one into 6. It's too much, isn't it? Let's give it 7. 7 and 5. Now I'm going to apply the same classes below. This one should have 5. Margin right needs to be removed, but I'm going to also remove flex and gap 2, or maybe I can have flex and let's leave gap 2 as well, but I want flex column. Okay, these are the buttons. Cancel and accept. We can give it more contextual colors like BG emerald. Actually, cancel should be red 500, and this should be BG emerald, and it should be 500 as well. Okay, I click on this, it reverts back. I choose the image and I can accept it or not. If I accept, what's going to happen? The cancel works, but it's going to call this road update cover, which actually is called update cover, but we should rename this and call update images. Okay. Now, if we go in the profile controller, we accept avatar, and we need to do something similar. We have avatar. If user avatar path exists, then we're going to delete that. Then we're going to store that into public disk under user folder, and we're going to update the user. This is not necessary, by the way. This is not necessary. So if I delete this, so then I should call this cover image update. I'm gonna okay, let me explain why I think that we have something not pretty correctly implemented. Okay, so I'm going to introduce now status here, and that's going to be by default an empty string. When I update the cover, I'm going to set my status to be this one. Okay, when I update the avatar, I'm going to set my status to be this one, which is avatar image update. Then I provide status right here, and I don't need this success. I also don't need the success right now. I can delete it. But okay, this is going to work. Now, if I go in the view, scroll at the top, we have this, if the status equals cover image update. Okay. Now I need to duplicate this actually, and second one to be avatar image update. So I have a here I will have an avatar, but I have the same component repeated twice, which is something which I don't like. So what I think is probably having right here success, then right here my success will become basically this text. Your cover image has a was updated. Let's call it was updated. Okay, and we'll have something similar here. And finally, I will push success. I will push success right here. That should be your avatar image was updated. Now, the success variable needs to be also taken and passed. So here, I need to accept, because we are basically going back with success. So we're going to get that success and pass it to view. Now I'm going to get this success just like I'm accepting status. That's going to be my success. And then if show notification and if success exists, then I will simply output my success. And I don't need this. And even if I implement the different types of notifications, I will just provide the success. Maybe I will just rename the name of the success variable into like success message, for example, which is more descriptive. But right now that should be good. That should be okay. If I scroll down below, if I review my avatar modifications, I think this looks good. It should work. Let's open the file system and I'm going to upload avatar. Okay, click on that, choose an image, go to the network and click on submit. Your avatar image was updated, disappeared after a few seconds. There's one error. Okay, I know why this error is coming, where this error is coming from. It's coming from the user resource because we need that storage URL for avatar as well. Now we see this avatar. In the file system, we have two files. In the database, inside the users table, we have both of the files. If I change my avatar, choose something else, then cancel, it goes back. If I choose something and then accept, I see the notification. On the file system, it got replaced, the previous one is deleted, the next one is added, and in the database as well, the avatar path is updated. Okay, awesome. We have implemented uploading avatar and cover, but did we update cover? Yes. We have just broken the cover update due to renaming the road name. The road, actually here we should have update, it should be update images. Okay, again, maybe we can improve that. Submit cover image, submit avatar image. They are very, very similar. Like that part can become a reusable function. Okay, not very big deal. Like not very big deal. So this is the same, like almost everything is the same except this one. So this cancels the cover image and this one cancels the avatar image. And to be more specific, this function should be called reset. Instead of cancel avatar image, that should be reset avatar image. I'm going to replace all, and that should be cancel. Instead of cancel cover image, that should be reset cover image. Now let's test this once again. I'm going to choose an image. I'm going to click on submit. That has been changed. Reload. The change is there. Now let's choose. Do I have something else? Okay, I can choose. Yeah, I don't have this cropping. Okay, what if I choose this one? Okay. Here's my. Oh, this is looking good. Nice cover, nice avatar. The color needs to be actually adjusted slightly. It is very, very dark. This is the place. BG Black, I'm going to make this even darker, but I'm going to give text white. Text white. Or maybe text gray 200. Okay, not bad. Awesome. So we have implemented also uploading avatar. Now let's implement profile update, which means updating the name, username, email, password, and so on. Okay, first of all, I'm thinking, why do we have edit profile button here, but also having the form? Okay, either we need to convert this into like a text, not form, or maybe we need to remove this edit profile and only leave this about. Okay. Let me check how this looks in incognito. Okay, cool. Now I'm thinking that I need to remove this edit profile, and I'm going to move this about button at the very end and call this profile details, which is going to be only for me, and inside which I can have all that information. Let me actually try to update this if this works. I'm going to also open the network tab. John Smith 2, I'm going to hit on save. Okay, it doesn't seem to be working. Profile update is not in the root list. Okay, profile update is not in the root list. That's why, because we commented that. Okay, let me commit the avatar implementation as well. So implement uploading avatar image on user. Okay, something is wrong. File failed to commit. Let's type git status. It looks like PHP Storm did not get updated, but it was, I think, committed. Implementable now. Yeah, so this is the comment what we just made. Okay. Let's open web.php, and I'm going to uncomment this profile. We don't need profile edit because that is for rendering the form, which happens on the profile page right here. But for update and destroy, we can leave that. Now let's have a look. Let me move this on the right side. And John Smith 2, let's go to the network and click on save. Okay, road profile edit not defined, and this is coming from profile controller. If I search for profile.edit, Since we update, we are redirected into profile edit, but I would go to back. Yeah, I would go with back with success. Your profile details were updated. Okay, let's access this again. Actually, it was updated. Look at this. Now let's remove it and hit on save. Your profile details were updated, and I see John Smith here. Now let me again update, hit on save. It got updated. And this is good. This is good. However, I have a lot of howevers, as you might already guess. I want to make it perfect, but I know that it's going to take a lot of time if I don't speed up. Because I think I already have more than 7 hours recorded, and I am not still about creating the posts and likes and things like that. Okay, anyway, what I explain, I want to explain it clearly, and I don't want to rush. So, yeah. What I'm thinking right now is that when we are on the About page, I want to change the URL. Basically, if I access this, it's going to open the posts. And let me just adjust it slightly. So this is the About, which I'm going to move at the bottom, at the end of the tabs. And let's call this My Profile. And then I'm going to take this and put this at the very bottom. Yeah. Okay, cool. We have My Profile. If I reload, we are on the first posts page, which is correct, actually. But if I navigate, I want the URL to be changed as well. How I'm going to do that? Okay, first of all, is that important? Well, if I am on the photos and I copy the URL, that's going to be the photos URL. I open it and photos needs to be active as well. Not bad, definitely, which is something we can definitely implement. But does it worth spending time on this right now? I think no. It's not bad, but I think no. I think we need to focus on the main things. What I will do is right now, edit profile button needs to be removed. Okay, and in the My Profile, we have that information, which is only for me, and I can update the password, I can change my details, I can change my username. However, what happens if I change my username and remove dot, let's say, click on save? Now we see the not found page. Interesting. This happens because go back goes on this URL, and that URL throws not found. If I hit the enter, we see this not found, which is normal. Right now, this is my profile page. And instead of going back, maybe we should do to route. Here we need just profile and providing request user. Okay, user has been updated and we are just redirecting to the profile page with new user. I go to the profile page, I put john.smith, hit on save, and I am on the new URL. Okay. Okay, yeah, I think that's it. So if I reload the page, I'm on the posts page. I want to edit my profile. I will go in my profile and update the information.